Hey guys, this is Tyler. I'm here in Estonia. I want to talk to you guys about something that's really important, especially for people coming from North America, and that is finding and opening bank accounts in non-CRS countries. Now, what is CRS? CRS is Common Reporting Standard. The CRS essentially exists to facilitate automatic information sharing about financial accounts between member countries. And keep in mind, this is a lot of countries. This is 100 countries that essentially they share banking information with all the other members. And as we can see here, this is more than half of the world that is part of the CRS system. For some, it's more important. CRS, I think historically, was meant more for higher net worth people that were multimillionaires and above, that were storing wealth in offshore bank accounts, and it existed more for these folks. But I think the CRS is becoming more relevant for more people because there's just more people opening foreign bank accounts with each passing year. As far as the law goes, of course, you want to follow the law as much as you can, especially if you're a U.S. citizen. If you commit financial fraud, tax fraud, this is punishable by prison in many cases. It's very strict, the system for U.S. citizens. But that is not to say that you can't look at other options. As a person that wants to stay more anonymous, I'm not saying that they can't find your information, the IRS or something, but it's less likely, especially if you have your wealth spread across multiple bank accounts and multiple non-CRS jurisdictions. You're more likely to avoid having these kind of issues, and this is where it's very beneficial to look at the countries that are part of the non-CRS. The first one is Armenia. Armenia is a pretty good option. It's obviously the interest rates on local currencies are high, which is very advantageous if you're holding large sums of money in bank account, and the overall trustability has improved a lot, integrity, so it's not like what it would have been, say, 20 or 30 years ago. The next one is Cambodia, which of course is in Asia. That's interesting option. The next one is Dominican Republic. This one would be very good for U.S. citizens. It's very close. Caribbean island. Much better option, I think, to say Cayman Island or some of the other Caribbean jurisdictions, because the IRS has their hand on a lot of people's business in some of those islands like Grand Cayman. So you're going to have to often look at the countries that don't get as much attention. Those are typically the non-CRS countries here. Georgia is another option. Georgia is one of the easiest places in the world for a foreign person to open a bank account, and it's also not part of the CRS system. The next country is Guatemala, which is in Central America. It is, many people may know, in Guatemala, banking is a big industry for this small country. Like I said, it's often the countries that don't attract a lot of attention. Kazakhstan is another option. That was part of the former USSR. That's like Central Asia. They have a very emerging economy. Also, business is really opening up in that country also. There's been a lot of wealth created recently. Macedonia and the Balkans. This is a great option for guys that are looking at living in the Balkans. The Balkans is a phenomenal place for both banking and for second residency, second passport, because you have both these non-CRS countries, and you also have countries that are good for obtaining residency documents or passports. And for example, if you lived in Serbia is not part of is part of CRS system, but you could go to Macedonia, which is non-CRS, and that would be a fine place to open an account. Montenegro is another option, which is also in the Balkans, and that's also nearby. Paraguay in South America, they're also part of this list. This doesn't get as much people's attention, but Paraguay is obviously nearby Argentina, nearby Brazil. And Philippines is another option, which is Also in Southeast Asia, it's very much in the heart of that part of the world. There's a few other countries I didn't include, but the ones I listed are probably the best ones here. And just look into this. Just understand that the US, they love getting their hands into people's affairs. They love, I mean, whether you're a US citizen, foreign, if you've done any business in the US, you've made money in the US, they will come after you, especially if it's a large sum of money, and try to get their hands on your money, basically. So just look at these options and have redundancy. Give me your feedback below, and thank you.